Good morning. Jesus. On my toast? I've really got to stop having sugar before bed. I always wind up falling asleep in the strangest places. Where the heck am I anyways? Where's the floor? You've got the sun, the moon. I don't know, is that Mars over there? I can't tell because why the heck is everything black and white? And this tree, it's seeds. What is this? An elaborate marketing campaign for old movies? Well, seeing as I've only got this tree, I'll have to make do with what I can. At least I have this little worm guy to keep me company. It's not all bad anyway. Whoever or whatever abandons me on this skyblock at least left me the tree. Otherwise I'd be up a French river without a paddle. Alright, let's see here. It seems I've been given a book along with a bunch of other garbage. Welcome to Sky Factory 5. You've probably noticed there's no color. Don't worry, your computer isn't broken. Each of the 16 Minecraft colors will have to be discovered in a variety of ways. Capital C, crafting, in-world actions, etc. If you get stuck, the advancements should help you out. Mob spawning. Mobs do not spawn initially and require you to complete gateways to obtain trophies. These can be placed and activated to allow that mob to spawn around the player. Blah blah light levels, blah blah. Thank you to all these guys, and first order of business, discover the color black. Done. Of course, I'm sure it means black dye or something. Maybe a sky squid will float by. For the time being though, I'll grow more wood to build out this platform. I have this watering can, and I'm no pixel artist, but this looks more like a paintbrush than a watering can. I'm really not convinced it even does anything either. Whoa! It's always unnerving to look out into the endless abyss and know that just one wrong step would send me spiraling into the void forever and ever and ever until even my very thoughts become a dark void of nothingness. Green! Yippee! Damn, even the crafting table is all dark and dreary. And so, our first day in this dull, colorless void has ended, and all I have to show for it is this sour green apple. No rest for the weary, I'm afraid. I'll have to spend all night growing and chopping trees. Water, 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 water. I knew this thing was just a paintbrush. Christ on a bike took you long enough. Now that I've finally got some more wood, I can make a wooden sickle to cut down these leaves which apparently never decay, and by recycling all of the plant matter from them, I can make some fresh dirt. And just like that, we've unlocked 2 colors. Now we can plant a brand new baby tree. Remember our worm buddy? He loves trees. And now that he and his friends have infected it, we can get string and unlock the color white. You know, I've been told by so-called scientists that white is every single color at once, so I should have everything, right? Okay, let's make a bed to skip to morning so I don't have to just sit around all night. Huh, that's weird. For some reason, there's no bed in this menu. So I need brown wood to make an actually useful crafting table? Let's consult our strategy guide. Use barrel, okay, check. Eat dirt? But I don't wanna. Alright, down the hatch. Ugh. God, I think there was a worm in there. Ugh. Now all we do is dye the sapling and we'll have a bed in no time. Once it's morning. Listen, of all people, I understand the need for balanced, logical gameplay. But I'm on a wooden island floating in the middle of the sky. I don't think it would hurt anyone's suspension of disbelief if the trees could grow at night. What's this? Brown loot bag? Maybe it's got something really useful. Gate pearl. Cow gateway. I mean, steak is much more appetizing than dirt. Ah, and would you look at that, a usable crafting table. Ah, nice comfy bed, and now I don't have to spend all night talking to that weirdo who lives in my head. Oh look, a brown apple. You can make torches with just dye and sticks. Nice. Okay, I need lava and water to make a cobblestone generator. Hopefully, I can make the lava in a wooden crucible. Do monochrome trees melt into monochrome water? Nope, it's blue. And now it's raining. Bizarrely enough, the raindrops don't turn blue until they splash on the ground. Even though the rain is kinda gross, it'll let me collect plenty of water in these barrels. I still might catch a cold though. Hey, take a look at Saturn over there. And take a look at me. My hair is a nice natural green, so of course it can be seen. But my skin tone is kinda glitching through the monochrome filter. And I got all these fresh clothes too and no one can see them? Place your bets now. What color am I wearing? What was I doing? Cobblestone, right. So, like any good skyblock, we'll need a cobblestone generator for our sky factory. For that, we'll need lava. And to make lava, we also need cobblestone. However, there is another way. We can make cobblestone using those wooden boards I chopped off the logs. How do you make stone from wood? Well, I'm glad you asked because I was going to tell you anyway. If we burn regular logs at the campfire, we get charcoal and unlock the color black. However, burning the boards gives us ash, which, in turn, unlocks gray. With 4 ash, we can craft cobblestone, then craft a hammer to crush up that cobblestone into gravel, then crush the gravel into sand, then submerge that sand in water to create clay, which will unlock us light blue. And the sky looks absolutely fantastic now. Now that we have clay, making a ceramic crucible to make lava shouldn't be too difficult, right? Needs bone meal, which I can make with white dye, which I don't have. Perhaps if I plant some of these colorless seeds, they'll grow into white dye or something. Of course, hope isn't much of a strategy. To get bone meal, we're gonna have to kill skeletons at some point. So I'll make this platform to fight them once the time comes. Yowza, that's a big tree. And look at that, it dropped a zombie gateway. Interesting. Whenever I eat these brown apples, I get a haste bonus. Apparently, by throwing saplings into water, we can get blue saplings and trees. Damn, that looks cool. Why can't trees be blue in real life? And how lucky. The blue tree dropped an Ars Nouveau sapling, and those trees drop a ton of wood. Whoa, look at that! See, what did I say? That's one big birth of a tree. In celebration, let's have a steak dinner. Steak! Ow! Ow! Jeez, these cows have hands. What the hell? Alright, round 2. No cheap shots this time. Am I tripping or did these cows... Ow! Did these cows get bigger? Maybe it's like a psychological thing where now that I know that they can hurt me, they appear bigger. Buckle your seatbelts, kids. It's time for the final round. Holy God. These are some These are some giant heifers. Aha! Can't get me up here, can you big giant cow? Out of here. No. Ah, my spine. No. Jesus, where are these guys coming from? No. Eat. Ah, fuck. Get out of here. Get out. Go away. Jesus, get away. God, why are they so big? Eat. Oh, my God. Oh, God. How embarrassing. Hey, Light, cut it to make it look like I didn't die. At least the cows have had their fill of violence because now they're just standing around waiting to be axed. No. Now I've got this trophy. But the trial cows didn't drop any steaks, so... Getting killed by those cows was really embarrassing. It's probably the second most embarrassing thing to happen to me since 3rd grade when I lost a foot race to that bastard Roger McSilverskin right in front of the girl I liked. After I lost, I tried to punch him in the face, but he beat my ass. Right in front of the girl, too. That's why I'm making this armor and a sword, in case that Roger prick comes back as a zombie. My armor's made out of wood and stone, which sounds heavy, but it's no trouble for a stalwart like me. Let me just fence off this platform, and then I'll have a small little makeshift arena to do battle in. No, we're not there. Ah, shit. Okay, zombie time. Hopefully I can get my first iron or something. Ah, crap, I forgot to bring food. Whoa. What's with the froze on these guys? Haha, get wrecked, nerds. Alright, wave 2. I'll fight these up close and personal, just like that bastard Roger. Ow! Word of advice, kids. There's no shame in knowing your limits. Round 3, and wow, those are some big guys. I'm not afraid, though. I'm gonna go in there and show 'em who's boss. Never mind. Oh god. You know, eventually I'll make a case or room for all these trophies, but for now they can just go on the floor. Now I can spawn some zombies on my little platform and hopefully get some iron. Funnily enough, I did pick up this Titan Husk gateway earlier. Husks are basically zombies, so I should be able to get some iron from this, right? I don't know what Titan means. Hopefully they're not absolutely gigantic. That would be quite the eyesore. Alright, here they come. And they're just regular size. Blammo, that's 3 waves down. It seems these Titan gateways have an infinite number of waves. And after every wave, the enemies grow even stronger. Hey, look at that, some iron. Ah, no, now the sky's back to being all grey and sad again. The light blue is quite relaxing and pleasant. Such things are the cost of industry, unfortunately. Oh shit, a child. My worst nightmare. Haha, gotcha. That's a lot of body parts. Ah! I think I'd just take gray over red. Red makes me aggressive, hungry, and lust. Well, that was fun, but after 15 or so rounds, it starts getting a bit spooky in there. Check this out. More important than the iron I got are these hat grab bags. I call this one Grandma Disguise. Hello, Shanae. I'm not sure why my grandma is British. Gotta say, I'm a big fan of the hats. Whoa! Fire! Ah, it's out. You know, it's illegal to shout fire on a crowded skyblock. Got the propeller hat and Dejiko's hat. Who the hell is Dejiko? Dejiko is the main character of the 1999 Madhouse original anime D.G. Shirat. I guess you really do learn something new every day. But you know, it's a pretty cute hat. No, now's not the time for that moe shit. I'm trapped on this skyblock, all alone. Shut up. I need to focus. Yo, wait, look at this one. It's like I'm some kind of emo spider guy. Alright, now that I've got a few slices of iron, I can make a chisel. Then, I can chisel this dripstone into a pointed dripstone. Pointed dripstone. Fuck. Damn it, it was supposed to be the stone cutter. Fortunately, I've still got one more ingot of iron. Alright. Now how the hell is this supposed to help me get white dye? I guess I use it for this dripstone contraption, which drips colored water onto the sand, turning the sand into a block of dye. But I don't have any white water, so the sand is just gonna remain sand. I don't know how to get white dye. The book doesn't say shit about it either. Even though obtaining lava is a fundamental part of skyblock gameplay, there's no information about how to obtain bone meal, which is necessary for making a crucible. Obviously, bones drop from skeletons, but they won't spawn until I've beaten the skeleton gateway, and the only way I've ever gotten these gateways is to get them from loot bags that drop from the same colored tree. So unless you can craft loot bags, I would need white dye to get white trees to get white dye, which doesn't make any fucking sense. Oh, would you look at that? We can craft white loot bags. Alright, let's see what I got. Snow golem and goat. Okay. Uno mas. It'll be skeletons this time. Titan snow golem. What are you looking at, cow? Look at you. You've got your bangs covering your eye like some kind of emotional teenager. Alright, 4 more. Baby gas. Titan chicken. Sheep. Titan llama. Mother... Titan melon golem? That's not a thing. Alright kids, place your bets. Titan skeleton, let's go! Listen, you all know me. I'm not some coward who likes to hide behind the shield, but having one does make fighting against skeletons a lot less annoying. You might have noticed, none of the tools in this mod pack have any durability. They're all unbreakable. I guess there's no reason to make a shield out of anything but wood then. Alright, now let's make some damn progress. Light work. I've got 30 bones and look about like a pincushion. I think that's enough skeleton fighting for today. At last, it's time for our lava crucible. It's lava time. Even though an actual cobblestone generator is much more convenient, it's a lot of fun to watch these boards cook. Brings out your primal instincts, you know? Okay, I made a stone housing for the cobble generator so that the lava doesn't burn up our entire platform. Hopefully I got the layout right because it'd be super embarrassing to mess this up. Hut. Fuck! Take. No, stop, cow. Jesus, what are you doing? Don't scare me like that. What are you looking at? Is there something on my face? Yeah, look away. God. No. Stop. You know what? It's okay. Every cow here is a blessing. Hut. Haha. I didn't screw it up this time. Thank God. Now that we have a reliable source of cobblestone, we can finally use the dripstone contraption. First we crush up the sand and then put it beneath the dripstone to drip colored water onto it and make entire blocks of dye. I've kinda gotten used to the burning sensation of holding lava in these wooden buckets. I've got obsidian now. Why? I don't know. Maybe it wants me to spend 5 minutes punching again. Check this out. Pretty cool, huh? You know, it's been like 15 minutes. I'm starting to doubt this dripstone. Whoa, right on cue. As much as I would love to tape down my mouse button and stand in front of the cobblestone generator, I can't imagine that being particularly efficient use of my time. That's a lot of rambling to say that I need to make one of these automatic block breakers to mine cobble for us. Let's just fix up this wall a bit first. Wait, what the Bro, what? Do cows just do that? What, was it because of me? Now I've only got this emo guy who fertilizes my crops. Here we get to what seems to be the real meat and potatoes of this mod pack, using dye to craft resources. Using white dye and gray dye, we can make light gray dye, which can then be crafted into raw iron. Now that we have this ability to craft crucial resources with dye, we need a more convenient way of obtaining dye than chopping down trees. I imagine we'll need an absolute metric buttload of iron, so over here we'll have this little garden of light gray dye. Eventually, I'll have a giant farm with every color and it'll all be automated, but that's a long way off. Baby steps, you know. Over here, I've set up this little dirt production line. As strange as it may seem, dirt is one of the more precious resources up here. With 10 leaves, saplings, or other organic material, we can make just one dirt block. As such, I can very easily see a reality in which dirt acts as our greatest bottleneck. Therefore, we should balance our production of dye between farming and the dripstone method. I will say, being up on this skyblock has really got me yearning for nature. I'll make a sort of central park here and seed it with grass, and who knows, maybe a few more cows will spawn to keep me company. Cause right now all I've got is emo cow over here. Moo. Right back at ya. So with 128 dirt, I'll be able to double product. Oh my god, it's a cow! Are you happy to finally have friends, emo cow? Jeez, look in the arena. A bunch of cows have spawned over there. I thought they'd only spawn on grass, but I guess it's more convenient this way. Still, this is a lot of cows. Guess what I'm having for dinner tonight? Color stage pink. I always thought cows had red meat. Whatever. Eating just steak alone is super unhealthy though, and more importantly, it's boring too. Let's see what vegetable seeds I can get from grass. Regular, flax. Oh look, beetroot seeds. Isn't that lucky? I've been wondering about how we were gonna get red dye for redstone, but it appears I've got my answer. Red's always been one of my favorite colors. Yep, that's redstone. Rain's the worst, huh? You know, I was staring at this rainbow, but now that I look closely, it has a bunch of colors that definitely aren't on rainbows. Not to mention, it also shows up whenever it's not raining. Maybe it's not a rainbow at all. Perhaps it's some kind of planetary ring. Maybe it's where all the ground and stuff went. That's enough philosophizing. Now that I have redstone and iron, we can make a block breaker to automatically mine cobblestone. Let's plunk this down right here and toggle it on. Look at that. I'll never have to mine cobblestone again. The machine has no inventory, so we'll need this little hopper setup. Ah, nice work, me. I've been working on automating cobble generation ever since I got lava, and now I'm really not sure what to do with myself. Let's check the book. Got red and orange. There's still quite a few colors to discover. Thought we were a bit closer. Build a Stirlinger combustion generator. Wow, what insight. I was planning to power my machines with only hopes and dreams. Here's something useful, a forester. Most of these components should be pretty easy to make, except for this crystallized amber stuff. We'll need gold ingots, raw gold, yellow dye. Aha! We can get yellow dye from wheat. Perfect. Hurry up and grow, you damn tasty grass. Oh, wow. I'd been without yellow for so long that I'd forgotten what happiness looks like. This is really nice. Well, I mean, the sky kinda looks like piss though. Regardless, even if the sky was chartreuse, I would still have to fight under it. My current wooden armor has served me okay, but it's high time for iron armor. I'll keep the wooden armor on this stand for memory's sake. Alright, let's make our generator so we can get started on making real machines and stuff. Our first machine is the centrifugal separator. I made this machine because it can make cyan dye, which is needed for diamonds. By putting crushed raw tin in the centrifugal separator, there's a 12% chance we'll get apatite, which can then be crafted into cyan dye. Raw tin is made with blue and light blue dye, so all we have to do is crush it and we should be fine. Crushed raw tin has to be crushed with the giant wheel from Create mod? I made the wrong machine. It's time for some recreation. Ow. The hell? Do these squids have spears? Well, spear or no, a squid's just a squid. Unfortunately, none of them or any of these passive ones drop black ink. I guess I'll have to get it some other way. Can't have shit on the skyblock. Of course, squids aren't the sole inexplicably useless mob in Minecraft. We've also got sniffers. God, Jesus. What? How much damage? What are these things made of? Alright. Easy does it, big fella. Ow! What the hell? How in God's name did that hit me? It wasn't even facing me. Did that enormous bastard do some kind of spinning heel kick? I think not. Look at this big ugly mother... Hey Light, edit that one out. Okay, so maybe I can get new dye colors from Rare Colored Sheep. Nope, whiter than a Mormon croquet club. These sheeps make this squeaky sound whenever I hit them. Almost kinda makes me feel bad for killing them. Almost. How about snow golems? Will they drop anything useful? Nope, they don't even have their pumpkin heads. Good God. About 10 million sheep spawned while I was doing the snow golem gateway. Oh no. Tell me it ain't so mystery enough items. Apparently pitcher plants, which are dug up by sniffers, can be used to craft the cyan dye we need for diamonds. Okay, I've made a bow to fight the sniffers with. It's not like I'm scared to fight them hand to hand or anything. I just, don't want them to damage my armor. Apparently, this bow is flexible and magnetic. Hopefully it doesn't magnet the arrows back to me. Looks pretty strong. Alright, bring it on, you big ugly... What are sniffers supposed to even be? Bam. 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 Oh, sorry, snowman. And wow, look at that. The remains just fly at me. Oh, my bad. Ha! That was easy. You'd have to really suck at this game to fail the sniffer challenge. Time to spend the next 15 minutes making dirt. Alright, you big giant bums, who's ready to sniff some dirt? Get to sniffing, you damn freeloaders. They might be a bit, too girthy to fit through the gap in the fence. There, go sniff. Hey, would you look at this? It seems these big fellas did actually dig some stuff up. Yeah, look at that. I've gotten a pitcher pod. Wow, I was super mean to these guys, but they've actually turned out to be useful. Who would have thought? Right, I'll plant this right here and check back in a minute. Those big fellows also dug this up, a sea pickle, which can be turned into lime dye. Ain't that something? Hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. Okay, so after a bit of waiting, the pitcher plants matured, and we've entered the cyan color stage. Now let's do lime. That's strange. I have lime dye, but apparently that's not good enough to unlock lime color stage? Look at that, even after dyeing the sapling lime, it's gray. Oh well, I guess. Time to spend the next half hour farming trees. See, look, even the tree knows I'm supposed to be able to see lime color. Tisk, tisk. Whatever, that's enough salt, time for some sugar. Okay, so cyan, gray, and black, check. Now all we have yet to unlock is pink and purple, and lime and magenta. For now though, I'll extend our platform a little bit. We'll need a lot of room to put machines and whatnot. Alright, check this out. Man, it feels so good to finally run and jump around after being cooped up on this tiny platform for so long. Whoa, if you put milk and lime dye in a barrel together, it turns into slime? Sounds like a good old Saturday night, if you know what I mean. Not that way. Boing! Ah, that was fun. Can't say I'm not disappointed that it didn't unlock lime color stage, though. What if I just... Of course. Unfortunately, the sky now looks like vomit. Now that the sniffers have taken over my fighting platform, I'll need a new place to do these gate challenges. That's why I've been making all this stone, so I can build an arena sort of thing. Jeez, there's an awful lot of options to choose from. However, I really dig the look of these simple, smooth stone pillars. No matter what I build, it'll have white columns. Alright, the foundations are set. I'm gonna build the whole thing out of this marble-like stone. It'll give the whole thing sort of a Roman vibe. And then maybe in the future when I have more resources, I can build an actual Colosseum. I think these creeper face blocks will look pretty cool on the floor too. It'll give a sort of sinister feel to the whole place. Time to start on the pillars, and I think they're gonna look pretty damn good. Ow! Oh hell yeah, look at those pillars. They look fan-freaking-tastic. Better make some of these bricks into slabs for the overhang. Huh. I didn't consider this possibility. And you can't chisel stone slabs either. Alright, crisis averted. There are these white stone brick slabs from a different mod that I can use instead of the chisel ones. Yeah, I'd say that matches pretty well. I mean, you can kind of tell the difference, but I think it'll look fine. I made some glowstone with orange and brown dye to light up our new building, but I'm really not feeling any of these different textures. You know what? I think to keep up the Roman architectural style, I'll put up a few white torches and just leave the ceiling exposed to the sky. Alright, time to fight some blazes. Oh god, I'm on fire! Who could have seen that coming? Me! I saw it coming, so I collected lots of orange apples which provide fire resistance. Easy peasy. Alright, I finally made a useful machine. I mean, it's just an electric furnace that's powered by coal, but still, progress is progress. I know you're not impressed. How about this? It's not a machine, but a magical device that will help us get purple dye. Or a magenta dye. This is strange. Even though I haven't unlocked purple and pink, they're still showing up in color inside the book. Guess it's because lime, cyan, and magenta can be mixed into pretty much any color on a computer screen. Using the magical imbuement chamber, I made a whole bunch more of these magenta source gems, and then I made this whole Ars Nouveau enchanting apparatus. Hopefully, by growing these magical mage bloom seeds, I can unlock the purple color stage. Alright, I got a bit lost in the sauce there. Ever since the first tree, I've been looking for a way to automate tree planting and chopping. Now that I've unlocked most of the colors and killed a few blazes, I think we'll finally be able to make one of these foresters. Unfortunately, the blazes from the gateway didn't drop any blaze rods, so we'll have to let a few spawn. I took all of the torches out of this marble building so blazes can spawn. Hopefully it's light enough everywhere else. It's gotten pretty dark in here, but no blazes have spawned. Oh shit. Alright, no problem. Ah! Over there. Peekaboo. Ah, fire, fire, fire. Go out, go out, go out. God. Whew, got a bit hairy there for a sec. Oh, fuck. Please stop shooting. Oh god, now more have spawned. Stop! Oh god, it's everywhere. Please die. Please die. Thank you. The other one despawned, but dear god, what a mess. Oh, the fires are out. I guess it could have been a whole lot worse, but damn, man. Alright, I've put down torches everywhere. So now when I click on this statue, blazes should only spawn inside the marble building. Take a look at this. No blazes have spawned in here. And oh, would you look at that? One spawned in a place that they shouldn't spawn. I'm starting to lose it. I spent the entire night on the sniffer platform, you know, to give them some space to spawn, and no blazes have spawned inside the building. However, I'm sure if I broke even one torch, a billion blazes would pop out and burn my platform to ash. Alright, it's no use crying about it like some neglected child. I can spawn my own blazes. Man, this poor cow's about to witness unspeakable acts of violence once I get my hands on these burning bastards. Alright, I've got like, 15 blaze rods? Should be enough for now. Time to make some magma cream and magma blocks. Only 4, man. You guys think magma cream tastes good? I've always thought the name sounded like a gelato flavor, and the stuff looks pretty tasty. I mean, realistically, it would taste like slime, which is probably pretty gross. Those things do live in swamps, and blaze powder is probably less spicy, more sulfury than I'm imagining. Still, I think it's an interesting question. Okay, so I've made another machine, the Extractinator. It doesn't plug in, but supposedly, if I insert a block of ketchup, it will extractinate a random red item, which could be nether wart. And I need those to make the forester, right? So I need fire charges, and they need gunpowder, which needs niter, and I can get niter from pulverizing sandstone. And the pulverizer's a pretty simple machine. That is what modern Minecraft's all about. Okay, pulverizer's done. Hey look, the mage bloom is finished growing. And it didn't unlock purple. Whoop-de-fucking-do. Okay, we've got some niter. Next thing we need for gunpowder is sulfur, which can be gotten from pulverizing blaze rods. Ah, tasty. So, if I put this mage bloom into the imbuement chamber, I can make berries that can be crafted into purple dye. We've got sulfur, now we combine that with charcoal and 2 niter to make gunpowder. You know, as far as Minecraft recipes go, this one's pretty real. Okay, so we've got the solidification chamber. Now we need a melting chamber to make liquid magma. It shouldn't be too hard to make a melting chamber, but liquid magma? What a weird thing to mod into the game. Is lava not good enough for you, Mr. Mod Maker? Well, whatever. Making this didn't take long at all. Got my liquid magma, fire charge, redstone block, and gold. Gotta actually put the magma in there. There we go. 2 crystallized amber. I'm not exactly sure what function they serve inside of a tree planting and chopping machine, but I'm sure it's a very important role. Alright, I've got the source berry, and guess what? Didn't unlock purple. It's no use complaining anymore. It's magenta according to the game anyways. Even though they craft in the purple dye, the berries are magenta. Even though I have purple dye, I still haven't unlocked the color. Forester is complete. Alright, now do something. Ah well, I guess it needs electricity. Out of the way, sheeps. Alright, the tree's in range and the machine has power. It should do some stuff now. What? It broke a log. Is it gonna pick it up or... Too much to ask, I guess. It'll only cut 1 log per minute too, it seems. You know, I bet I could make amethyst with purple dye. Yeah, I can. And knowing how this mod pack is, I bet that would unlock the purple color stage. I'm a freaking genius. Okay, so I've made an item collector to pick up the harvested wood and saplings and other things. Just gotta make sure their working areas overlap. Oh wow, that's a lot of lag. Jeez, don't stare at this thing too long or you might start to lose sight of what's real and what's not. Now I'll plant 1 sapling of every color and we'll be raking in every dye of every color. Yo, look at these black, white, and gray trees. Man, they look fan-fucking-tastic. These colored trees have to be the best part about this entire mod pack. They just look so cool. Let's see what the magenta one looks like. Whoa. See what I mean? They're all so dang unique. What to do? Wait, huh? Are those bees? Am I tripping? These bastards are huge, man. How bizarre. Okay, for the forester, I'll turn on the basic system first to get a good supply of saplings. Then, I'll add pipes to pipe those saplings back into the forester, where hopefully it will replant every chopped tree. Oh wow. It's been like 1 minute and everything's already chopped down. And the item collector's already full. I should have seen this coming. There's 16 different dyes, logs, saplings, etc. Better get those pipes sorted out real quick. Right, so items from the collector go to the chest. It took me about 10 minutes to figure out these pipes, mostly because I was looking for a way to sort them. To sort with these pipes, we need these filter data cards. Then we put one of each sapling into the slots. There's only 8 allow list items, so hopefully we can use 2 of these at once. Attach the suckers, put in the filters, and okay, it looks like the whole thing is working. Let's toggle the forester a few times, and I think it's working. Ah, thank God, I managed to make something that actually works. Now that we've got those machines set up, we'll need more room to set up more machines. Even though the automatic tree farm has just gone up, I still can't help but feel like we've accomplished so much already. But you know, it would be a hell of a lot easier to build this platform if I had a jetpack. But would you look at that, the only jetpack is from Create Mod. So yeah, I think I'll just stay grounded until I find something a bit more convenient. What do you know? There's an item called Building Scepter. The scepter needs 2 whole blocks of lapis, which isn't that much at all now that we've got our tree farm working. Go, go, go. Select block. Go. What the heck, man? Left clicking any block will change the size of the area that will be affected. Aha! 3x3. Bam. Nice. Let's get this thing cranked to the max. Wow, I should have made one of these ages ago. This is odd though. I'm not sure if the effect will be present on the recording, but every time I right click, it plays like 60 cobblestone placing sounds at once. I'm listening to music in the other tab, and every time I right click with this building scepter, it completely blocks out the music and I can just hear the cobblestone sound. How strange. Auto materials. Wow, I've pretty much doubled the entire platform in just a few minutes. There's so much space to run and stretch now. It's great. It's like getting out of solitary confinement. Check out our tree farm. It looks like rainbow vomit. And holy, that's a lot of magenta wood. Fortunately, we can create color-coded barrels that can store hundreds of logs at once. And what shall we do with those logs? I'm glad you asked. I've created this machine, a fluid extractor. As the name implies, it extracts fluids from blocks, namely wood. See, inside of these magenta blocks is the sticky polymer latex, which is used to make plastic. And everyone knows, every good factory makes plastic. Look at that. We've already got 118 milliblocks and I've not even plugged the thing in yet. Even with the tree farm though, we're still not automatically producing enough dye to make anything particularly complicated. That's why I'm gonna use this area over here for a dripstone dye block farm. You know, I probably should have built this just a little bit bigger. But look at that, we've already got 1 red and 1 light blue dye block. I will need to figure out a way to automate this process. Doing it by hand every single time sounds really tedious. And our latex extractor is full. I guess I can bucket it out, but we'll need a latex processor sooner rather than later. It's funny, I thought that after discovering all the colors I'd just sit back and relax. But now, even more than before, it feels like there's so much to do. Alright, got the latex processor. It needs water to process the latex, so I made this water collector and some fluid ducts to pipe in both the water and the latex. Don't forget to put on the servos or there won't be any pumping going on. At some point in your modded Minecraft adventures, you'll realize your inventory is constantly full of crap. I've just realized that, so it's time for me to make a backpack. Might as well upgrade it all the way to diamond. Perfect, look at all that space. Now I can keep all my tools and cables and pipes on me without them taking up a million inventory slots. I've expanded our dripstone dye farm and made some block breakers. I also made these data cards so that the block breakers only break the sand once it's changed color. So I put the card in, turn it on, it breaks the blue dye block. I put the dye back down and it'll break it, but if I put down sand, it will not break the sand. Unfortunately, configuring the block breakers is the easy part. If we want this contraption to work effectively for us, we'll need lots of sand. 9 sand can be crafted from 3 orange dye blocks and 1 brown, but relying on that for our sand supply sounds horribly inefficient, and it will use up all our orange and brown dye. Thus far, I've made sand by building these giant pillars of cobblestone and then crushing it into gravel with this hammer. Then I repeat that same process with the gravel to make sand. Not only is this time consuming, but it also makes me really dizzy to be all the way up here. Suffice to say, I need a machine that can use the hammer for me. Luckily, it's pretty straightforward to make a setup for sand production. I've got the block placer to put down the cobblestone or gravel. Then, there's this mining machine which I can equip with a hammer. Fill the block placer with cobble, plug in the mining machine, turn it on, then pipe the gravel back to the block placer. Of course, we need a filter so that the machine doesn't try to further crush up our sand. Okay, so I've made 50 block placers for our dripstone dye farm. It'll be a bit of a tight squeeze once all the pipes and stuff are in here. However, I've hit a bit of an interesting conundrum here. My sand making machine is on the complete other side of the sky factory. Getting it across would require a lot of pipes that I don't have, so I think it'll be easier just to build a new and improved sand production machine over here, cobblestone generator and all. In addition to the normal cobblestone generator, I've made one of these, an igneous extruder. That may sound like something complicated, but it's really just a smaller cobble generator. Okay, so I've made this little platform for crushing cobble and gravel. Now I'll put down this vacuum hopper and it's not really all that complicated. I think it'll work this way. And I've got to actually line up the block placers with the mining machine. Okay, so we'll pipe in cobblestone to half the placers so it can be crushed into gravel. And we'll attach a chest to collect said gravel, slap an item cable on either end, and then filter one to output gravel and one to output sand. Gravel goes on the right side to be further crushed into sand, and sand goes on the left side where it's dropped off at the dripstone dye farm. Alright, let's turn this thing on. Perhaps I've overestimated how quickly the mining machine can work. Oh well, it'll still produce a bunch of gravel while I get it fixed, so not that big of a deal. With the mining machine targeting only one block, it'll only produce either sand or gravel, and we obviously need both. Fortunately, we can use this redstone pulse former to send out a redstone pulse to the block placers so that they only place after the mining machine's gone all the way around the horn. 14 ticks should be enough. Except, the pulse former's only sent out one pulse. Ah, what a stupid device. I spent like 20 minutes making all the components for this damn thing and all it does is pulse one time? Overly complicated and useless. I bet you'll never guess what mod it's from. I'm just being a sore loser. The truth is, there's an easy solution. I just need to build a regular timer. Cut the first bit, Light. Man, I really shouldn't have talked trash about it. The pulse former does actually relieve me from making sure the timer is timed appropriately. Okay, second time's the charm. You know what? I genuinely can't believe this thing actually works. I'm a literal genius. Now I've just got to pipe the sand into the block placers, and I'm done? Holy shit. I've actually made progress. Now it's time to mess around and do some side quests. First order of business, make a block of ketchup. Tomato seeds can simply be crafted from dye, so I don't have to go through any annoying shenanigans just to get some. Alright, I think 9 tomato bushes should be enough, don't you think? Alright, that's enough messing around, back to work. What I need now is an applied energistics computer to store all the dye blocks that are coming in. Obviously, a computer requires computer chips, and to make those computer chips, I need an inscriber press. The majority of the components are easy enough, but I need this here steel plate, and to make steel, I need coal coke. Easy enough, tons of mods have these coke oven things, and they're never hard. Regrettably, charcoal doesn't work in the coke oven, but fortunately, coal can be crafted en masse with black dye. Alright, we've got our steel plate, time to start making computer chips. Easy. You know, I know we're supposed to make these lower tier storage cells first, but we've got so much dye, and therefore resources, that I might as well just make the highest tier possible. Yo, look at that, my tomatoes are done growing. These are strawberries. Perhaps I can make ketchup with strawberry. I can't even finish saying that. That sounds absolutely disgusting. Okay, those are definitely tomatoes. Let's see here. I could do a bunch of math to figure out exactly how many of these computer components I'll need, but that would be boring. Let's just make a bunch. Alright, we've got a bunch of computer chips. Let's get crafting. Again, really easy. Actually, it'll really bother me if I make an odd number. Ha, that's better. I have horrific news though. We've only got 23 blocks of light blue dye, which are necessary to make Certus quartz, the main resource of applied energistics. After using up most of our Certus quartz in our computer chips, we currently have two 16K storage cells, and let me just do some quick maths here. Yeah, we're gonna need all 26 of those 1K storages if we want to get to 256. In total we have, what, 58,000 bytes of storage? That's not that much storage. I bet the entire script for this video is more than that. Fortunately, light blue dye can be crafted with white and blue, so we should be able to reach 256 without needing to build another dye farm type thing. Blammo McBlorge, I've made a 256K storage. And look at that, we've got 2 more 4K units lying around because I can't do math. Not my fault though, you make a 4K cell with only 3 1K cells. It's confusing, you know? Okay, time for my favorite part of Applied Energistics mod. To craft these really intricate and important purple crystals, you throw a bunch of shit into the water. Alright, I've built the drive bay and CPU for the computer. Now it's just a question of where I should put the thing. I'm thinking about over by the dripstone farm, but now that I think about it, it's a bit out of the way. I think it'll be fine right here. Now we just fire up the generator and look at those RGB lights. This can't actually do anything until it has a monitor. Okay, the next thing I've been eyeing is this belt of levitation. I can make it with our enchanting apparatus, but it needs an item known as an air essence, which needs this Wilden wing, which drops from some monster that is summoned from some other item I'll have to craft. Ignore my belly aching, making this summoning item was really easy. The real issue is surviving once I summon this Wilden thing. I'll need better gear than iron, so I made these Azure Electrum ingots. I'm not sure if they're better for armor or swords, but I guess we'll find out, won't we? Alright, I did some research, and if I'm not mistaken, it's best to make the sword handle out of crimson iron and use Azure Electrum as the blade. 11.7 attack damage. Sounds good enough for now. Check out this hat I found your girl wearing. It really suited her. What am I? A genius sandwich. That's why you're the best, boss. I had all those hats because I had to kill a bunch of blazes for blaze rods so I can make this crimson steel to craft armor. But apparently I didn't kill enough. 21 ingots ain't gonna cut it for an entire armor set. Jeez, what a pain in the balls. Alright, I've got a full crimson steel armor set. Look, permanent fire resistance. Now, if somebody could remind me what the hell I was doing? That's right, I was getting the materials for a satanic ritual so I can fly. Alright, it's on fire. Oh shit. Whoa, it's the wing. That was really Ah! Ha, these guys aren't so tough. What's that noise? Oh crap, it's dogs. Holy Buddha, on a basketball court I'm getting smoked. Eat, 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 eat. Ha, I really can't believe I didn't buy it back there. Fortunately, it's another stunning victory for ya boy. Better get some feathers for the next, definitely not satanic ritual. Check out this new hat. Women fear me, fish fear me, men turn their eyes away from me as I walk. No beast dare make a sound in my presence. I am all alone on this barren earth. It's true. It seems I destroyed this world and its inhabitants. Truly, I am all alone. Shut the fuck up, Light. I do feel it within me, something I've never felt on this skyblock. A resurrected hope fills my being, and with it, an idea. I will recreate the entire Earth from nothing. With only my 2 hands, I swear to you right now, I will rebuild every block of this world. The air essence is finished, and the magical imbuement didn't actually consume the requisite items. So if we need another, we won't have to fight all those spiky things again. Now to do the ritual to create the belt of levitation. If this belt does actually allow me to levitate and fly and stuff, then it was pretty much worth almost dying. Once I put this belt on, it'll make me WrestleMania champion of the world. I might be the only person, but that doesn't matter. Hup! Hup! Fly! There we go. I have to crouch in the air. That's weird though. I'm not really flying, and it's really difficult to control momentum. Whatever, let's fly over to this Snuffleupagus guy. Wait, no, how did... I guess this is it, fellas. It's just like me to fail right as everything seemed on the up and up. I guess that's the price of hubris, the price of thinking I could actually do it. It's dark. I still feel like I'm falling. Is this... death? Wait, I am falling. That's the Sky Factory right there. I looped all the way around the Earth. And look at that. No fall damage because of the levitation belt. I'm a freaking genius. In light of recent safety incidents, I've decided to build a new platform underneath our Sky Factory. That way, in the event that someone, not me of course, falls off the side, they won't be dropped into an endless cycle of falling. It will also allow me to run cables around the place without worrying about them getting in the way. Okay, I think that's a good start. Maybe I'll put some machines down here in the future, who knows. Time to take inventory and move all our dyes to the computer. We have quite a few, but certain essential dyes like pink and blue have dropped to inadequate levels. Not to mention, there are 16 different colors, so the dye blocks and items alone take up half our allowed item types in this drive. Basically what I'm implying is that we need a second item storage drive, but crafting those storage cells by hand is awfully tedious, so we're going to connect these molecular assemblers to the computer and use them to make it. To do that, we first gotta attach this pattern encoding terminal. Then wire up these assemblers and pattern providers. And I've just gotta reach, 1, 2, 3. Jeez, if I knew this levitation belt was so fiddly, I would have built the lower platform so much closer. Now what we do is code the crafting patterns for the storage components into these blank patterns. And once we have them all, we put them into the pattern providers. Ooh, look! An egg! Bang! Holy Jesus, 4 chickens! Right, computer crafting. Next we put down our crafting storage unit and the crafting co-processing CPU. Don't ask me what the exact function of the co-processing CPU is. I have not a damn clue. All I know is that it makes things work better. Molecular assemblers can only carry out crafting recipes, so to get metal and mineral dusts, we need to rig up a bunch of pulverizers to a pattern provider. The same is true for furnaces. And then we can put in a pattern access terminal, and that will show all of the recipes currently coded into the computer, and what machines those recipes are carried out in. Now we attach the computer chip making machines so that the computer can upgrade itself, just like the good old days of downloading RAM. Unfortunately, to fully automate our lives, we need a lot of electricity, and coal power just can't cut it anymore. I threw together that crappy biofuel reactor over on the left there, but it's basically useless. However, I have a plan, and that plan starts with removing the coke oven. I'll move it over here just in case I need to re-up on some coke in the future. Time to build a nuclear reactor on our extremely flammable 1-block thick platform. Now I'm only joking. I don't think the reactors in this mod can melt down. Right? They do require a great many blocks to build though. Bing bang boom, Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt, and now they've got a brand new nuclear reactor. I like how the most effective way of fueling these things is by throwing a stick of uranium in a wooden chest. Alright, the reactor's plugged in, let's fire it up. And look at that, it's heating up and generating a decent amount of electricity from just one ingot. I have a confession. Eagle-eyed and wise viewers may have noticed that I blundered severely when creating the automated smelters and pulverizers. It's an easy fix, but make sure your machines always have the auto import and export features enabled. The easiest way to tell if it's wrong is to check the pattern access terminal. If the machines are not properly hooked up, the terminal will say ME pattern provider instead of giving the machine's actual name like it does when it's properly hooked up. And with all that worked out, I think we're ready to craft a 256K storage component using only the computer, just like God intended. Nah, psych, I need... Holy Chryslers, 196 more light blue dye blocks. Well, that's easily solved. I just need to teach the computer that blue plus white equals light blue, right? Nope, the computer doesn't like that recipe for some reason. I can't use the other recipe, combining light blue, white, and dark blue either because it requires you to already have a third of the target number of blocks. Fortunately, that's only a minor annoyance, because we can build a dye mixer. Just set it to light blue, and we put our blue dye in. Look at that, 3 light blue for the price of 1 dark blue. Plug the mixer into a pattern provider and put the crafting recipe in. Okay, fingers crossed. We should be able to build the 256 storage component now. Yeah, looks like we'll be able to do it. Who knows how long it'll take? I certainly don't. Alright guys, it's been like 30 minutes and there's still hundreds more light blue dye to be crafted. In the meantime, I built this speed upgrade. And it does, I guess, speed the thing up. Can't add a second one, unfortunately. But I can add this efficiency upgrade. And this processing upgrade, but these are just band-aid solutions. This is all a bit troublesome. I'm struggling just to make one. Undoubtedly, we're gonna need several of these large item housing cells to store the, I guess, millions of dirt and stone we'll need to rebuild the world. In short, I'm gonna have to think about scaling up our dripstone farm. But that's all for tomorrow's me to deal with. Tonight, we celebrate the completion of our first computer-crafted 256K storage cell. With the computer unlikely to run out of storage space now, we can automatically pipe in all of these dye blocks from the dripstone farm. And we might as well hook up the tree farm chest while we're at it. Yeah, that's a really good idea. We can auto-compost saplings and apples and worms and crap from the tree farm that I don't need. I think we'll start by composting worms, red-colored leaves, and sugarcane. Man, take a look at that. Talk about satisfying. Okay, let's automate sugarcane. Ah, that's right. These annihilation planes will only collect the item directly in front of it. What a mess. You know, I haven't thought about it until now, but I think we should go to the Nether. I remember needing nether warts for something. Anyways, it's good to have some. Damn, forgot my lighter. Nether time? Huh? Well, that's no problem. I can just get nether warts from ketchup. Is there really no nether in this mod pack? Okay, 2 more. Perseverance pays off, boys. What did I tell you? Did you see me give up? Did you really think I'd give up? At times, I do find this mod pack odd. Nether warts were super convoluted to get, but I can just straight up craft both soul sand and glowstone using dye. Very compelling stuff indeed. Also, turns out you can go to the Nether, you just need a painting instead of a portal. Why isn't it working? Is it glitched? Is it like Mario? Do I need to jump in? Oh. Jeez, they spawned me in this glass box like some kind of museum exhibit. Alright, let's put that down and check this place out. Well, it seems to just be your average bastion, except it's completely void of pigment and it's floating in midair. Guess that means no one will mind if I steal this gold. Alright, I'm bored. That's enough Nether shenanigans, let's go home. You know, I found some of this gilded blackstone stuff. Word on the street is it can be pulverized into netherite scrap, and it's probably the best way of obtaining netherite in the mod pack. And as it turns out, we can make more gilded blackstone by induction smelting regular blackstone with golden nugs. Hey, would you look at that? Right on cue, 1 netherite scrap. I have no idea what netherite is used for in this mod pack, so we could either end up needing just 3 more or thousands. Who knows? Alright, I need a new weapon. Don't know what I expected with that one. Cannon. Potato cannon? That doesn't sound good. Matter cannon? Can't say it's my favorite. Rainbow cannon? Fire lasers at living targets? Hell yeah, that's perfect! I'll need amethyst, some mod thing, diamonds, dark prismarine. Alright, that shouldn't be too hard at all. Easy peasy. Alright, we've got all our components. And now we've got our laser gun, and nowhere to charge it. And so, dear viewer, knowing that we'd need a place to charge our laser, I made this battery in advance. Oh my god, that charged really quick. Look at that, it shot a laser. Your turn, chicken. Wow. Normally I'd just wring their neck with a crowbar, but this is way more convenient. However, like my mom always told me, a weapon is useless without anything to use it on. In that case, I want the world to be as it was before, monsters and all. You can't have good without the bad, you know? Jeez, even for my standards, this is an awful lot of rambling. Long story short, I'm gonna build a giant coliseum and fight monsters. It'll be sick! I'll build in a circular shape using these blackstone bricks. Circles can get a bit dicey in Minecraft, so wish me luck. And done. See what I mean? Dicey. Jeez, man. Circles, you know? Perhaps it'll look better once I finish the walls. For building the walls, I made this building gadget from the mod Building Gadgets. Convenient, don't you think? Yeah. Now that the walls are semi-built, the asymmetry doesn't bother me at all. Not at all. Well, maybe if I knock down this part here, then build it back here, it won't bother me so much. I'm gonna have to rebuild this whole damn arena, aren't I? Well, maybe just this one wall. This certainly looks a lot better than before, but it'll never be perfect because, absent-mindedly, I used a diameter of 60 blocks to build the circle. Basically, for those of you without useful skills like voxel geometry, the diameter of the arena needs to be an odd number instead of an even one if we want it to be symmetrical. Regardless, I think I've fixed it well enough for people who aren't complete sickos. Well, I think that's enough for now. We're also running out of black dye to craft blackstone. In the meantime, I've built this automated wheat farm. It's not really for food though, it's more so for composting in the dirt. Jeez, it's taken me literal hours guys, but I've finally created a new dripstone farm. This one should suffice for the remainder of this skyblock though. 16 colors each with 16 block placers and 16 block breakers. I couldn't just auto build it all with the building gadget either. Every single one of these machines has to be turned on manually, and all of the block breakers have to have data cards inserted manually. All that to say, I need a break. I always find farming to be pretty fun, and it would be nice to have a constant supply of wool and milk, so I've built this very spacious and luxurious enclosure for my sheeps and cows. That machine in the wall there will milk and shear the animals, and I think there's even one that can automatically breed them. Damn, look at that! 55 buckets of milk already, and that number's shooting up. I know there are water-cooled computers, but this one's cooled with milk. Though if the milk is fresh from a cow, it's probably already pretty warm. As you've probably noticed by now, our tree farm has been completely overtaken by red trees for a very long time. I still think having a tree farm is a good idea though, so I'm gonna build this one using machines from a different mod that have more customization. You guys ever eat raw tomatoes? Just me? The animal pen started to smell a bit, so I'm putting in this sewer. It's pretty gross, but I can compost the sewage into fertilizer, use it to fertilize wheat, then use the increased wheat to make more dirt. That does mean most of the dirt in the new world will be made out of, well, I guess it's like how they say all water you drink was dinosaur piss at some point. Look at all that dirt. Don't smell it, just look. Even though I already have the dripstone farm, it could never hurt to have more dye, so I'll make this dirt square into another dye farm. What to do, what to do, what to do, what to do. Wow, that's a lot of bees. Is this sewer drinking my levels? It is. What does that mean experience is? I planted these inferium seeds from the mystical agriculture mod because I need to make mystical armor if I ever want good flight. However, I really don't feel like building yet another farm just for that. Fortunately, lime-colored trees will drop inferium essence, so I can pretty much skip the entirety of mystical agriculture. You know, it's just occurred to me that I haven't really shown off the laser gun I made a few minutes ago. I've used it to waste a few bees off screen, but I can't show that, it'd make me look like a monster. So instead, I'll show it off against these poor little helpless mushroom cows. Pretty overpowered, huh? Also, I found this gateway that summons some creatures called teacup pigs. Ah jeez, what adorable little guys. Could you edit out that last minute light? No one should have to watch that. Alright, that's enough violence towards friendly creatures. I wonder if Endermen can dodge lasers. Probably not, right? What a bunch of freaky looking... Holy shit. Man, why'd they give them weird balloony arms? Were Endermen not weird enough? Hey look, I picked up one of their arms, and it's just... Man, what a mod pack. Maybe this explains the cheese stringer arms. Yo, look at this. Our lime trees have already produced about 500 inferium. And that only gives us 2 supremium. We've got quite a ways to go with this. And it's not just supremium that I need awakened supremium, which needs dust dropped by withers and ender dragons, and a demonic ritual to make it. I added a second tier to the color farm, and I'm gonna add a third too. Of course, I don't want to till each block individually. That would be a massive annoyance, so instead, I'm gonna make a mystical hoe to till large areas at once. Alright, I've made the basic inferium hoe, but it just tills one block at a time. Gotta upgrade. Fortunately, our tree farm has produced over 9,000 inferium since I set it to grow only lime trees. So basically, all we have to do is upgrade a bunch of these prosperity diamonds and irons into diamonds and irons at each of the essence tiers and then use them to continually upgrade our hoe. It's quite tedious. We'll also need this, a tilling area of effect augment. Obviously, it wouldn't make logical sense if a magical hoe could just till large areas of farmland, so we need to do several demonic rituals to get it to the highest tier. I'll spare you from having to watch me make the supremium hoe. And look at that, we've got a red hoe, just like your mother. Toss on the upgrade in the tinker table. And we'll have all this land tilled in no time. It took me way longer to build this damn hoe than it would have just to till this all with a regular hoe. Over here, I've made a contraption that crushes cobblestone into a bunch of gravel. It's quite noisy. Here's the deal though. I made the gravel machine just because I needed a bit of gravel, and it's already produced 25,000. If I don't do something soon, I'll have no cobblestone left to rebuild the world. In fear of this eventuality, I made several more igneous extruders to make cobblestone, and a lava production system which I'm standing on. In addition to cobblestone, I'll need tons of dirt to rebuild the world, but now we only have 3,000. This is where the gravel machine helps us. Instead of composting 10 organic items, we can take 2 gravel and 2 dirt, and put them into this auto crafter set to make 4 coarse dirt. We then pipe the coarse dirt into these crushing macerators, and they'll make a bunch of noise as they turn each coarse dirt into 1 regular dirt. So for the cost of 2 gravel and some electricity, we're straight up doubling our dirt. Jeez, this has got to be one of the noisiest contraptions I've ever devised. That dirt number is really jumping up. Over here, I've built a 16 by 16 obsidian slab so that I can kind of gauge how much resources and how difficult it'll be to build an entire chunk. I'll make sure each chunk is the standard 64 blocks tall as well, no skimping out. So yeah, I'll need a second backpack with lots of upgrades for this whole plan to even work. And there she is. Right as the sun rises, we've completed our template chunk. Now we'll take this, our copy and paste building gadget, and click on one corner. Then we climb all the way back up again and click on the other corner. And it's copied 16,384 blocks. We then put the gadget into the template machine, save the template as chunk, and now we can see the number of required blocks per chunk. Now we can take the building gadget and visualize how a chunk would look if we built it right now. I've filled up the backpack, so let's build ourselves a test chunk. Wow, incredible. This is... no way, I actually ran out of cobblestone? Yeah, I did. It's not like I knew the exact number or anything. Oh well, it's a good start. Of course, the new world wouldn't be complete without those annoying long-nosed bastards. I wish there were more mod packs that incentivized taking these dudes out. Now well, until the new world is complete, I'll make them live under the Sky Factory. The main reason I needed these guys is so I can get normal trees instead of the weird colored ones. I mean, I like the colored ones, but they'd look really out of place in a real world. With all the new machines and stuff in the Sky Factory, we're running a bit short on electricity, so I've decided to make a slightly larger nuclear reactor. I kid. With the building gadget though, it's not too much of a hassle to make it so big. Alright, I've put the casing together and put in around half the fuel rods and graphite things. This reactor is just absurdly large though. I was gonna put some liquid coolant in it, but filling this entire thing with liquid just sounds like the biggest ball ache imaginable. Big news guys, while I was building the reactor, we hit 1 million cobblestone. We've got so much dirt too. This is all really shaping up quite well. Boom, giant reactor is completo. Okay, the reactor can store a maximum of 3.7 KIB. Obviously I know what that means, but I won't bore you with the explanation. To start, I'll put in just a stack of uranium ingots and... wow, that really didn't put the slightest dent in the fuel gauge. It's still heating up and generating plenty of power though. Alright, I've got 2 stacks of uranium blocks. Let's see what happens. Whoa, that's heating up pretty fast. Fortunately, this mod's reactors can't explode. Nah, I'm just kidding. That's an awful lot of green sludge though. Looks kinda gross, honestly. Blikuni. Beepa. Don't leave me in the pool. I decided to finally build a roof for the Colosseum, and it looks pretty good from the outside. But on the inside, see, it's all weird because I built it out of slabs and stairs and stuff. So I think I'll cover that with flat black concrete so the roof looks like a dark void or something. Yeah, look at that. Pretty cool, huh? Shoot, missed the spot. There we go. So yeah, I'll show off the whole thing once I can fly. Of course, to even get the armor that allows flight, I need nether stars and that dust from withers and ender dragons. So it looks like I'll be grinding wither skeletons for the next few hours. Even though I've built this fancy new arena, well, it's new and fancy, so I don't want the wither to destroy it. Alright, I've got my Supremium sword, and without any enchants, it's already better than my azure blue one. We truly are in the end game, Mr. Stark. Now I put on the enchantment that makes the withers drop special dust. And the wither's not that tough of a guy, but still, wish me luck. Yo, what's with this dude's face? Ah shit, I'm sorry, Mr. Wither, I didn't mean to be rude. Jesus, what a loud and annoying guy. It's probably been said a million times before, but he's really not that fun of a boss. I just kite him around, laser him once he gets stuck, then kite him around until he gets stuck again. I mean, look, his weak ass armor doesn't even block lasers. Yay! I would have been so angry had that nether star fallen into the void. Ah, but that's fine, because it looks like the magic dust did fall into the void. I would swear, but that's inappropriate. Whatever, it's fine. I'm sure I'll have to kill multiple withers by the time this is all said and done. In the interim, I'll make the Supremium armor. Done. Pretty cool, huh? I've also made a fire-resistant augmentation for my armor. The old armor set had fire res built in, so I'd hate to jump into lava expecting to be immune, and then die. I also made a strength 3 augment for my sword. For now, the final augment I'll put on my armor is absorption 4. Alright, let's waste some withers. Oh, it gives you the same amount of time to kill the wither as it does to kill a couple of chickens. Third time lucky, I guess. Wow, 8 cognizant dust. It really did work out. Turns out, we can't use the old altar to craft Awakened Supremium. Instead, I had to craft this special Awakening altar. Well, that's kinda lame. I figured there'd be a special kind of animation since I had to make a whole new altar. I only had enough Awakened Supremium to upgrade my pants and shirt, so you know what that means. These fights sure do get a whole lot easier on the 4th go around. Kinda reminds me of something else. Maxed out armor at last. And you know, killing withers isn't the only way we can get cognizant dust. It drops from any boss with a health meter. Got no time to think, better make this jump. Aha, got it. There she is. How about some lasers? Yo, did you see that? The dragon looked strange. Well, let's take out some of these crystals. Whoa, 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 what kind of attack was that? It's like a machine gun or like a laser beam. Ha! Nice aim. Ah, that's very loud. Holy shit, she's got 3 heads, and she's tearing apart the ground. Well, it's not too threatening of an attack. Alright, enough pussyfooting around. Yeah, dragons are scary, whatever. But to fight this one, I've gotta maintain composure. That's right, Drago. Take a seat and eat some lasers. Ha! What is this? Some kind of pathetic final charge? You've got me absolutely fucked up if you think I'm afraid of this. Oh crap! Whew, I'm okay. Jeez, this dragon screams alive. Did it just lay an egg? Baby Ender Dragon. Bring it, big fella. Damn, one more hit. And she's sitting on the portal? You're done for. Aw, yeah, look at all this dust. Look at that, it's the dragon heart from Draconic Evolution. You know what mod I'm not going to touch? Yo, Light, stop the music. A, we'll get in trouble if we play it too much, and B, we're not done yet. First we've got to get wither resistance for our armor. And now we've got perfect conditions for fighting withers. Haha, too easy. At last, with 4 nether stars, we can make a flight augmentation for our armor. The flight augment can only go on our chest plate for some reason, but that's fine, we can just put absorption on the boots. So my friend, let me ask you a question. Have you seen man fly? Wow! Look at this! Everything we've ever made is shrinking right beneath us. I can go so high then drop back down like it's nothing. And look here! We've gotten up to 10 million cobblestone. 10 million! That means we can make, let me grab my calculator, let's say 16k to a chunk, over 600 chunks! But first, I did promise I'd show off the Colosseum once I could fly. This mod pack does have smooth slope blocks, but those look too clean. I always want just a little bit of dirty. So, for all of my world building materials, I want to store them in a backpack of course, hence why I'll need to make these stack upgrades. They shouldn't be too difficult to make, even this one that needs 8 netherite blocks shouldn't be too tough. However, there is this one, the Omega stack upgrade. It needs 28 times 9, 72 netherite blocks, which is about 2600 netherite scrap. I'm going to make a netherite production line, but I'll consider the Omega stack upgrade a bit of a stretch goal. The netherite production line will be fairly simple. You sandwich an igneous extruder between blue ice and lava, and then they produce blackstone. Pipe the blackstone and some gold nuggets into an induction smelter, and, after a pretty long while, it'll produce gilded blackstone. Come on, hurry up, you're ruining the pacing. The gilded blackstone is then sent to the pulverizer, which produces 4 gold nuggets and, on occasion, netherite scrap. But first, do you like pizza? Dark pizza is made with only the finest ingredients. Every day we make our delicious pizza flour fresh with locally sourced sea salt for that distinct ocean flavor. Our dough is hand kneaded with water. Our peppers and tomatoes foot stomped to make the most delicious sauces. Our ham is only chopped with the finest diamond cutlery. And our cheese is aged to satisfaction. Of course, within every dark pizza is a secret ingredient. And it's baked over a wood-burning stove. Our chefs will stand by vigilantly watching as your pizza turns a delicious golden brown. Then they delicately scoop it up with the finest diamond pizza peel so no dough is left behind. Then once the pizza is properly cooled, it's hand-cut only with the sharpest of knives. Not convinced? Please listen to our customers. After cranking my shaft all day, I sure am hungry. That's why when I get home, I have a delicious slice of dark pizza. It fills me right up and leaves me feeling saturated and regenerated. So, what are you waiting for? Order 2 dark pizzas today using the promotion code SKY to get 2 carry-out 2-topping pizzas for $24.95.99. That's promotion code SKY. Discount available only while supplies last. Welcome back. I've made the tier 3 stack upgrade, and I've got a stack of netherite scrap as well. Ideally, this will be enough to get the tier 4 upgrade so I can get started on rebuilding the world. No such luck, I'm afraid. Jeez, even a stack of scrap doesn't go very far. I've seen people build netherite beacons in hardcore vanilla worlds. How much of a psycho would you have to be to get all of that? So I ended up making about 16 more induction smelters to make more gilded blackstone to make more netherite. I think this should be enough to make the tier 4 stack upgrade, but the Omega one, I'm still unsure. Well, nothing to do now but sit on my ass and watch some TV. There we go, 9 netherite blocks acquired. And I'm a dumbass, I only needed 8 for the tier 4 upgrade. With this upgrade, the backpack can store a maximum of 1024 blocks in a single item slot. So unless this backpack has 1000 item slots in it, which it does not, I'll be refilling more frequently than an alcoholic on 50-cent tequila night. You know, it's really stupid for me to try and fill this up manually. Alright, materials are check, building gadget is check. Let's go rebuild the world, ladies and gents. At last I will reshape the world in my own image. Behold my ultimate power. Man, I knew it'd take a lot, but god damn, that cleaned out an awful lot of cobblestone. Not to mention, the building gadget's already out of power. Perhaps my preparations weren't perfect. It was a pretty fantastic start though. For now, I'll ignore my problems and build until the backpack's empty. So I've built this wireless charger from a mod called Chargers, but its range is absolutely pathetic. I'm talking like 30 blocks. For some good news, I made a second tier 4 stack upgrade, and instead of just adding the 2 capacities, it multiplies them, allowing for over 16,000 blocks in a single item slot. While waiting for more netherite to come in, I developed a new topping for my pizzas, sushi. Just like a regular dark pizza, a dark sushi pizza is made with only the best dough and hot sauce, but it also contains an enchanted golden apple, sushi, steak, a slice of regular dark pizza, bread, onigiri, a grilled cheese sandwich, and a golden carrot. Well, maybe that's a bit too much bread. My mouth's watering from just the smell. I'll take just one bite. Alright, now back to work. There's no need for a pizzeria if there's no world to deliver to. In the time I spent digging around, perfecting my pizza techniques, we have accumulated 598! What the fuck? 598 netherite scrap? Holy shit! How much scrap did I say I needed? Do I have enough now? Surely 2 stacks of netherite is enough. It's not, cause I'm terrible at math. That's only 2 tier 4 stack upgrades. Still though, in the grand scheme of things, it took like 20 minutes for me to make all that sushi and pizza stuff. And in that time, I accumulated hundreds of netherite scrap. The Omega tier could actually be in reach. Right, logistics. Instead of manually filling my backpack, I'm gonna see how quickly an export bus can fill it. Of course, they'll need speed cards. Priority is cobblestone, dirt, then obsidian, and... Yep, that's gonna take a minute. Let me just add a few more of these. There we go. Alright, I added a 5th export bus and AFK'd for a little while. You know, I went and made some dinner and stuff. I had tacos. So now we have 1 million cobblestone in our backpack. I think that'll fill in a decent chunk of land. I put one of those crappy wireless chargers over here, but I'm gonna have to get a real charging solution before I get very far. I can't have wireless chargers littering my new world. See, even just filling in this corner and flying back to charge has become incredibly tedious. Still, this is really good progress, and we haven't even used half the materials in the backpack yet. I tried adding a battery to my other backpack, but I mean, just look at this. That's pathetic. Fortunately, this is very easily solved as there's an entire mod that deals with stuff like this called Ender.io. I forget some of the specifics of how the mod works, so let's take a look at the guidebook. Test entry. Oh, there's nothing here. Whatever. I remember how most of it goes anyway. We just have to build some of these flux plugs and storage batteries. Our flux network is, of course, called Darknet. Don't look that up in real life though. Let's just turn all this stuff on. What could go wrong? Alright, the real meat and potatoes. Wireless charging. Turn it on. Throw this battery down and connect it to the dark net. And just like that, we've got tons of electricity ready to be teleported over long distances. This is incredible. It far exceeds my expectations. The building gadget recharges almost instantly. The only bottleneck to how quickly I can rebuild the world is my own skill. Aw, shit. Oh well, having slight deviations in the ground's elevation will give the world a bit more of a character. God damn it. I've planted some grass patches around, so hopefully that will spread pretty quickly. All in all though, I am very pleased with how this is all coming along. There's something so satisfying about watching the world materialize right before our eyes. I don't know. It's interesting to think that the game carries out this entire process in just a few seconds every time you create a new world. Take a look at this. We've run out of cobblestone. And obsidian, but we're not going to worry about that. So, all of this that we've built, this entire giant landmass took around 1 million or so cobblestone. We've got to have over 15 million in the computer by now, so I really do think our world will grow to be quite large. Yeah, look at that 19 million cobblestone and counting. Whew, this might take me a few minutes to build. Let's just fill in some gaps here and there, and I'll let you guys know once I've finished the perimeter. Well guys, after I place this chunk down, our sky factory will become just a normal factory. Ah shit. Cobblestone. This is not a joke. This is not a drill. I actually took so long to build the perimeter that we have enough netherite to build the Omega stack upgrade. And here it is. It raises the stack size to, holy fucking shit, 2,147,483,647. Jesus Christ. I feel like actually filling one of these things to capacity would just instantly crash your game. I guess I'll just leave my backpack right there and go eat a snack or something. Okay, I went and had some Oreos and nachos and stuff, and now we're sitting on almost 11 billion cobblestone in our backpack. Jeez, it's a good thing I don't skip leg day. Let's patch this up real quick and yeah, it's official. We no longer own a sky factory. If you fly down into the factory's gutty works, you can no longer see the horizon. It's more of a cave factory now. Look at this. We've built so much land that the factory is leaving our view. Soon, it will all just be a distant memory. It's been a while since I left behind the sky factory. The new world has long forgotten its days as a cruel, colorless void. I too tried to forget those long, cold nights all alone. To forget those hot days when I chopped trees until my hands blistered. However, even though I can't bring myself to return to that place, I also cannot bring myself to forget that this world is something I created with my own 2 hands. Perhaps I miss those days, where I had just one single-minded goal, when every problem seemed to have an immediate solution. At the same time, the thought of living through it all again only makes me shudder. The new world is such a beautiful place. Its trees, its hills, its people. Yet what mesmerizes most is the single colorless tree at the village's entrance, a monument to both the pain of loss and the joy of creation.